I had the great privilege, and it was a wonderful privilege, of spending 26 years in elective office representing the state. And a good part of serving in elective office is traveling around and being in a lot of places and getting to know a lot of people. And you can't do that without having a real sense of identity with the place. It's almost as though you become one with the place. And I feel that way about the state. And to have the opportunity to come back and to go to places where I haven't been for a long, long time, and to see a lot of people I have not seen for a long time has just been a marvelous treat. And you know something, anybody who has any doubt about America and the future of America and the strength of America, can I just give you one little thing to do? Drive around the 8th Congressional District, and then you'll know the real place. And it's just a wonderful country. And there's so many people who are just good souls and joyful people. You know, they're just joy. Look at this. Here, you get euchred out of your raffle money and you laugh about it, and it's very good. I think that there's a big question before our country, mega question, and it is political, and it has to do with how do you feel about what do you think about the appropriate role and scope of our federal government? That's the big question. And I think the question has been put in play by President Obama and continues to be put in play by President Obama. When he ran for office and talked about change, nobody knew what he was talking about. And I think, and I do believe, that he's a very, very attractive politician and very eloquent, articulate person. And my hope was that although, you know, I supported John McCain, but that there was going to be a change in tone, that there was going to be a change in style at least, and that we were going to move into what people thought would be a post-partisan era where politics would not be quite as partisan as it has been in recent times. That hasn't turned out that way. And instead, I think what he meant by change is a change in the relationship between the federal government and the rest of the country, with a great expansion in the role of the federal government. And in a way, it's the reverse of Ronald Reagan. Reagan's theory was to reduce taxes and to contract government. That was the Reagan idea. And I think that Obama's approach is the opposite of that. It is to contract the rest of the country and to expand the role of government. And it's not simply the amount of spending and health care and creating a new entitlement and all of that, but it's when Rahm Emanuel, a week after the election, he became the president's chief of staff, said that a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. That is a tip-off to the idea that the financial crisis, economic crisis that we've had in our country is not simply something to be dealt with on an emergency basis where government does tend to expand, but it's something to be used to bring about something permanent, some permanent change between the government and the country. In his first 100 days, the mayor says he's now been 90 days in office. We're expecting a 100-day review, right? But for Obama on his 100th day, he tried to coin a new phrase, and the phrase was new foundation, a new foundation for America. It's a very kind of pretentious thing to say that America is going to get a whole new foundation. What he meant by that, I think, is government. So now we have reached a stage where the government owns an automobile company, and where the government, simply by saying so turns around, in the case of Chrysler, the priorities under the bankruptcy law. And where the president appoints somebody called a car czar and somebody called a pay czar, and like British Petroleum deservedly is very unpopular, but where was the legal authority for calling in the head of British Petroleum and saying, set aside this huge fund? So it is a view of government that is very, very expansive, and I think that that's the fundamental question that we have to ask in the next election. And a really good election is one where big choices are presented to the American people, almost in referendum fashion, and I think we're headed there.